Sup guys, Jordan here. Today we're going to be going through how to start a digital marketing agency with no money in the bank. But before we get into the video, make sure you are subscribed. Click that notification bell as well so you get notified every time we release a new video. Let's get started. Okay, so you've searched make money online. You've seen loads of people making money through SMMA or social media marketing or digital marketing agency, and you want in. You think this is going to be a good industry for you. You want to start your own business. You want to start working for yourself, but you've got no money in the bank and you think, how am I going to get started? Now, this is one of the number one biggest, most common misconceptions about social media marketing, or whatever you want to call this industry. You do not need money to get started. Social media marketing is a service-based industry which only requires you. There's no infrastructure that needs to be paid for. There's no office. There's no team members at the start that you need to invest in. The only thing that you need to invest in is the time into your learning. And this wasn't always the case. I mean, when I first started 2.5 years ago, I had some savings, luckily, because I'd worked all my life and I'd saved up some money, and not an awful lot, but I invested thousands into my education. I didn't have a clue how to run Facebook ads. I didn't have a clue how to get results for businesses. And so I needed to learn that. And the only way to learn that was by paying people thousands of pounds to do so. So when I actually started my business, I made sure that when I started my personal brand, I wanted to put out as much free content as I could so I could help people who were in the position that I was in. Hence why if you go for my YouTube, there are so many lessons which will teach you all different sides of starting a social media agency. So I advise that if you haven't watched my videos already, you should go over to them and check them all out. I also published a book called The 15-Minute Agency. Now, very, very quickly, this book teaches you how to sign your first 4-figure marketing client, even as a total beginner with zero sales experience. It also teaches you how to make your first ad. And this video isn't about that. I want to teach you actually how you can get started today if you have no money in the bank. But what I want to do is I want to invite you to go over into the description of this video and get yourself a free copy of The 15-Minute Agency. And it's like $9 shipping, which is nothing compared to the value inside this book. And I'm actually going to be going through some of the lessons in here today because it's invaluable. And this is the stuff that everybody should be following when they're looking to start an agency today. So head over to the link in my description, get a copy of this. But I understand that you haven't got the time to wait. You don't want to wait until you receive this to actually learn about how you can start your business today. That's the reason why you're watching this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some of the fundamentals from here and give you the first steps that you need to take to start your agency right now. So first of all, because we've already gone through the fact that you don't need money to get started. That's a big common misconception. I just want to get rid of a couple more for you guys right now as well. I get asked all the time, will this work in my country? And the answer is always yes. It'll work in any country, any first world country. I want to be fair here. And this isn't going to work in countries that don't have internet access. This isn't going to work in devastatingly poor countries, or at least it will, but not on the same level that I teach in my program and in this book, because you're not going to be able to sign up clients for thousands of pounds per month. But that being said, as long as you have access to the internet, you can sign up clients all over the world. Okay. Do you need to have previous experience? Absolutely not. You don't need any previous experience. Can you do this whilst you're traveling? Yes. I mean, I've been on 8 holidays this year and I've worked on all of them, albeit quite briefly. But yes, you can do this from anywhere in the world. I've got students in Bali. I've got students absolutely everywhere. And you only have to look online to see everyone from kind of all different destinations traveling around, starting their own digital marketing agencies. Can you do this alongside a 9-to-5 or full-time education? Absolutely, yes you can. Now, when I first started my business, I was working full-time in sales. I was a business development director, which means I managed a team of people as well. It was a very stressful job. I was working away all the time and I still found time. I started making a few cold calls on my lunch break. I started reaching out to people in the evenings. I had meetings. I even pulled a sick day. It's actually when I signed my first client. And yes, there are many, many ways that you can do that. I go through them in this book. And I don't want to cover that. I just want to give you as much value as I possibly can today so you can actually get started right now and you don't have to wait to read some kind of other resource. So first thing we're going to be covering is what your service actually is. Now, social media marketing as a service or digital marketing as a service, you need to establish what is the main product you're going to be putting out there. Now, 99% of the time, your core service is going to be Facebook ads. Facebook and Instagram ads, because Facebook own Instagram. Now, this is the paid advertising platform of Facebook. So this is when you go on Facebook, you scroll down, you see sponsored posts all down your news feed. That's all we're talking about here, okay? Because the way Facebook works, lots of businesses, I mean, the majority of businesses out there have Facebook pages. They post on them. They wonder why they don't get any engagement. It's because Facebook's algorithm changed in 2012, so only 1 to 3% of the people that actually like your page see your posts. It's because they want you to spend money on advertising, and that's what we do for businesses. We get them on advertising so they can be seen by hundreds of thousands of people, directly targeted. I mean, you could literally target women who like red jumpers, who live on a certain street, they're a certain age, and they eat sushi. It's that direct, and that's actually a way that we can sell this to people as well, by wowing them with how direct Facebook targeting can be. We also can provide content, so we can hire videographers or photographers to go into local businesses or international businesses and actually take content for them to post on their social media. You can either offer post writing and scheduling for them as well. There are a whole heap of services, but let's keep things simple. And you guys want to own your own business, you want to start a digital marketing agency, let's bring it back to the core and just start with Facebook ads, which is going to be the most profitable service that you can offer. So you need to understand what companies to look for and where you can find them. I'm referencing the book here because I want you to read this after this. And I'm referencing this because this is the most sensible way for you to approach this if you have no idea how you can get started. So you need to think about what businesses are you actually going to reach out to in the start, okay? What niche? You've probably heard this word being thrown around, or niche. I hate when people call it niche. It's a niche, okay? This is a business industry, either like a restaurant or a dentist or e-commerce. This is a business industry. So when you hear people say that word niche, that is what they're talking about. Now, my best advice is when you're first starting, is to pick 3 niches which you have the most interest in. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm starting a business, I want to be passionate about what it is I'm doing. I want to be passionate about what companies I'm actually working with. So what's the point in me telling you, you need to work with restaurants, you need to work with gyms, you need to work with dentists, these are the industries that you need to work with, if you have absolutely no interest in them industries whatsoever. So my best advice is to work with industries which you have an interest with, okay, a passion for, because it's going to make your life easier. You're going to want to market them. You're going to enjoy marketing with them. The reason I say pick 3 is because just because you have a personal passion for that industry doesn't actually mean that you're going to have a professional passion for them as well. So you might actually start marketing for, let's say you enjoy football and you want to reach out to football trainer manufacturers, or football boots, or soccer boots, wherever you are in the world. You might start marketing them and find that they're an absolute nightmare to work with and you don't actually have a professional interest in them. And that's why it's good to have those other 2 industries to fall back on, because those ones you might actually enjoy. And so ultimately what you want to do is you want to try and sign up a client in all 3 of those industries and then work out yourself which one you enjoy the best and then narrow down into that one. Now, you don't have to narrow down into one niche. You could keep it at 3 if you enjoy all of them. But the reason why a lot of people say you should niche down in digital marketing is because it gives you a competitive advantage over everybody else who is doing the same thing as you. If you go into a business and say, hey, I specialize in marketing football boots, then you're going to have a lot more weight than somebody who's like, yeah, well, I've got a restaurant, I've got a gym, I've got a dentist. And by the way, guys, when I first started, I made that mistake. I signed up in clients from all different kinds of industries, and it was messy because I had to learn different industries every time I signed up a new client. I had to learn something new, and I was starting all over again. Whereas if I just stuck with 1 or 2 niches, I only had to learn that business industry once. I only had to learn how to get results for them once, and then I could copy and paste those results to every new client that I signed. So you need to think about what niche you're going to sign. Then you need to know how you can actually secure meetings. So how are you actually going to get a business owner in front of you, either physically or over the internet? So if you physically cannot see these local businesses, if they're like international, you're not going to be able to have a meeting with them. It doesn't make sense to fly over the other side of the country or the other side of the world if you don't even know that you're going to get money from them. So you want to be hosting either video meetings or face-to-face if they are local. But how are you actually going to get these meetings? Now, what I would recommend you doing is collating a very small list of of all of the businesses that you want to start reaching out to, okay? Let's say just 20 businesses to start off with, okay? A mistake I see a lot of people make is collating a list of like 200 businesses, which takes them days and days to reach out to. By the time they've actually finished collating that list, they've lost interest. So I recommend you putting together a list of about 20 businesses in the industries that you're interested in. They can be local, they can be international, and this is going to be your hit list. Now, the key piece of information that you need if you are collating a hit list is the business owner's name. This is so important, because when you reach out to a business, the only way that you're actually going to be able to sell to them is if you get hold of the business owner, because they are the decision maker. You don't want to be pitching to a general manager or pitching to a receptionist, and you certainly don't want to be calling up that business saying, hey, can I speak to the owner, please? It's not going to be professional, and they're going to be like, okay, this guy's clearly a salesman. They're going to hang up on you. You're going to have no luck. You want to be able to find that guy's name. It's Bob Taylor, and you say, Bob, how are you doing? Or, hey, can I speak to Bob, please? And they're going to put you through, because you're going to act like you already know that person. You're going to be enthusiastic, and that's how you're going to speak to them, and that's how you're going to address them. Now, in regards to whatever ways you want to reach out to them, I have my full cold calling script in here. I do think that calling is an amazing way to start reaching out to businesses. It's the most fundamental way that you can learn sales if you do not have any sales experience. Now, a lot of people talk about how cold calling doesn't work, about how cold calling is dead, and that simply is not true. Those people are trying to sell you on some kind of client acquisition strategy. They're trying to sell you on something else. And if somebody tells you cold calling doesn't work, they are simply lying. Cold calling is the fundamentals of sales. It's like sales 101. And even if you don't have a lot of success with cold calling when you first get started, it'll teach you so much about the psychology behind sales, and it'll teach you so much about yourself and your self-confidence, and it'll boost you, and it'll make you that alpha that you need to be when you're starting your own digital marketing agency. So my recommendation is to find numbers for these businesses and call them up. Simply say, hey, can I speak to Bob, please? You get Bob on the phone, you're speaking with Bob, and all you want to do is say who you are, what you do, and arrange a meeting. For example, hey Bob, look, I know you're busy, so am I, so I'm going to be quick, so I'm diffusing them. Look, I was on your Facebook page the other day, and you're leaving thousands of pounds on the table with your current strategy. Look, I market other e-commerce brands online, and I'd love to come in and share about 15 to 20 minutes with you. How does that sound? Something really simple like that. I've actually got my full script here, but you want to adapt that every time you speak to someone. The job of a good salesperson, and again, another mistake I see people make, is they say the same thing every single time. Now, when you read my script, what I want you to do is read it, but also think about how you can adapt it to yourself, because everybody is different. Everybody speaks in different ways. We all have different tonalities, which make us likable people individually, okay? So what I don't want to do is turn everybody who watches this video into other versions of me, because you don't need to be me, you need to be you, just the best version of you. So look at this script, think about how you can adapt it to people that you speak to. Just know what the fundamentals. You're introducing yourself, you're diffusing them, you're saying who it is, what you do, and you're saying that you want to arrange a meeting with them. This is either a video meeting or this is actually a physical meeting. Then you're going to go into these businesses and you're going to actually close them. Now, I hope you follow me here, guys. This is a lot to take in for a beginner, but I'm trying to give you a full understanding of the kind of process behind building this business. Ultimately, you need to read this book or watch my content at the very least to understand the kind of ins and outs of how to do each of these individual elements, like getting the scripts. Because once you've arranged a meeting with a business owner, you simply need to close them. And the meeting strategy is very, very simple in its form. There are 3 stages of the meeting strategy. We have the discovery stage, okay? We have the actual presentation stage, and then we have the close, okay? The discovery stage is all about building rapport with a business. So you've just had a meeting, or you just got into a meeting either on a video call or you're face-to-face, and this is all about discovering as much as you possibly can about that business. You want to have a bit of rapport building, you want to talk about the weather or whatever you want to do, talk about sports, some kind of mutual interest, maybe stalk their social media profile to see if you do have any common interests and talk about them. And then you want to ask them questions about their business. What days are they busy on? What days are they not so busy on? What is their current marketing strategy? This is a really important question. And actually, the first question that you want to open up with is, why have you accepted this meeting today? Because you want to put the ball back in their court and let them think, okay, yeah, I've accepted a meeting with this person because there's issues within my business, or we want to grow further, or X, Y, Z. And you want to establish that and be taking notes throughout the meeting, which you're going to use as weapons later on. So you ask them questions about their business, you learn about them, you learn about their revenue. Really good way to ask a company about their revenue is to say, hey, so what is your financial goal? How much do you want to be earning per month? They say, yeah, well, we should be earning about 60K per month. They're going to know that figure. They're a business owner. They've got that burning hunger, and that's what you want to reignite when you're in a meeting with them. And then you say, okay, well, you want to earn 60K a month. Well, how close are you to that figure right now? Now, what you're doing is like reverse psychology. It's a really clever way to ask somebody what their revenue figure is without saying, how much are you making per month? It's saying, hey, well, how much do you want to be earning? Okay, so how close are you to that figure right now? Little tip there for you. You are then going to present your services using the 3 weapons of influence. Number 1, the law of authority. Number 2, the law of comparison. And number 3, the law of social proof, okay? Authority, we're talking about providing value right now. You need to teach the business owner something. You need to wow them about Facebook ads, or wow them about whatever it is you're trying to sell them. And we have a methodology inside the 50-minute agency where essentially we'll take the business owner through a series of screenshots of what Facebook actually does. And we're going to compare them using the law of comparison with their competitors. So we're going to dig up some competitors who are doing well on social media already, who are already advertising, and we are going to compare our potential client to them, to which they're going to be like, what? We're better business than them. We need to be doing this. That's what's going through their head. If they're doing that and they're doing well on social media, well, we're a better business than them. We need to be doing this. You're going to get that buy-in from them. Business owners hate to be compared to other business owners. This is going to go in your favor. And during this, we're going to be talking about all the engagement they've got as well, all them likes, them comments, them shares, them tags, talking about social proof. Say, hey, look, Bob, if somebody comes over to your Facebook page at the moment, you're getting like 1 like on your images, you're getting no comments on there, right? But if somebody goes down to John's Steakhouse and they look on their Facebook page and they see everybody tagging everybody on their food pictures about how amazing that food looks, what restaurant do you think you'd go to? You're going to go to the one that everybody's talking about, okay? And you're not being talked about online right now. I know you're an incredible restaurant, but you deserve to be spoke about as well as John's Steakhouse do. So we need to have you advertising on social media. Again, it's that comparison, it's that social proof. It ties it in perfectly. And then finally, you're going to close. You're going to ask them for the sale. You're going to say, do you think that I understand all the problems you're facing as a business? Yes. Do you think that I have the skills it takes to help resolve those issues? Yes. Are you ready for the next step? Yes. You're getting those 3 yeses. It's permission for you to sell to them. Okay, great. This is my service and this is how much it costs. Now, I advise everybody starting out, you want to be charging a minimum of $750 to $1,000 per client, and you need to be asking for about 75% or 100% of the ad spend on top of that. So if you're looking to close someone on £1,000, they need to be spending a minimum of £750 a month on ads, or £1,000 plus. What you've got to remember about ad spend versus service charge is the more that the customer is spending on ads, the easier it is for you to get results. The biggest mistake I see people make is they get greedy too early on. They sign up a client for a high service charge and a low ad spend, and then they can't get results because it's not high enough ad spend, and they've lost everything, they've lost a client, they're depleted, they go back to their 9 to 5 job. It's a massive mistake, and it's because of greed early on in their agency. That, in summary, is how you can start right now. I know that's a lot of information to take on. We'd be here for hours and hours if I went through absolutely everything here, which is why I just wanted to read some of these chapters out for you, or at least summarize these chapters out from the 50-minute agency for you today. This book is invaluable. It's changed thousands of people's lives. In fact, I don't need to bother keep talking about it. I hope by the end of this video you'll understand, if you haven't read it already, that you need to, because it has all of my cold calling scripts in there. It has the full meeting strategy. It even teaches you how you can run the first ad for your client, how you can set them up on Facebook's Business Manager. So it's got everything you need to start building your agency right now. And of course, this video, I hope, has given you tons of value in that sector as well, and cleared out the fact that you do not need any money to get started, okay? I needed this video when I first started my agency. This didn't exist 2.5 years ago. There was nobody saying, hey, this is what you need to do, and this is how you do it. I had to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to do that. And yes, if you want high-level consulting with me, you want to learn 5 different client acquisition strategies, actually more than that, and all of our ad strategies, and copy and paste everything that we do, then you can go over to the social media marketing school and you can have absolutely all of that. But if you want to learn how to sign up your first client right now, today, with no money, get the 50-minute agency and you will be able to learn that. Or very simply, just implement the lessons that I've talked about in this business. A massive issue I see with people in the sector, in make money online, in any kind of entrepreneurship, is you've been given all of the information right now. It's your job to do something with it. It's your job to take action. It's your job to take that and be like, okay, Jordan's told me this is how it works. I'm going to go out there and do this. You don't need to watch 10, 20 other videos and get mind boggled with all of this information, all of this conflicting stuff that everybody's trying to sell you on. You just need to take one strategy that works, go out there, implement it, sign up clients and start your own business. And ultimately, that's the only way you're going to do this. You may have seen on my Instagram, I posted recently about the magnifying glass analogy. And what it said was, if you hold a magnifying glass over a pile of leaves on a summer's day, if you move that magnifying glass, nothing is going to happen. But if you hold that magnifying glass still on one leaf, okay, and you let that beam hit that leaf and you hold it there for long enough, it's going to ignite and it's going to set fire into all of them leaves. And that's the biggest problem. Stop moving that magnifying glass, stop moving that beam of light and focus it on one thing and set that thing alight and everything else will ignite. Guys, that's the end of this video. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, please do drop down a comment. Again, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell turned on. YouTube algorithm's doing strange things at the minute, so make sure you've got notifications on so you actually get notified when I release videos. And if you need anything, let me know and I'll be back again very, very soon. Cheers.